So I'm here with one of the coaches from the Dynamite team. Your name is, sir?
Enns.
Okay, so what's going on with the Gervonta Davis fight and Romeo? Like, what's the situation? First, what's your thoughts on that fight in general?
In general, I think it'd be very easy for Davis. Um, Romero is very sloppy. From what I've seen, he's got no one notable under him, and just watching a few of his fights, I didn't think was very impressive. I feel like a lot of the times he kind of just takes away from his punches, and I just feel like Davis would just time that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the now situation that's going on with Romeo being charged with some hideous stuff?
I think it's kind of funny, to be honest. I don't know enough about the guy. I know he just runs his mouth. I think the interview with him and Davis was kind of funny, but kind of, I guess that's what you kind of get from that kind of show, I guess.
Yeah, like his bravado seems a little made up.
Yeah. I definitely feel like when you start getting up there a bit, you kind of run your mouth a little more than you should. And, some people are humble, some people kind of just run with it, right? So you definitely get that under the lights a lot. So
Okay, so now that that fight is kind of canceled, who do you see lining up to fight Tank?
there is works about Haney, but I feel like that would be an easy fight, so I could see why Davis would want to take that fight. The one I want to see is Lomachenko versus Davis. I think that would be the best fight ever, but that's just, I think that will never happen, but maybe one day.
But why wouldn't that happen? And why do you feel that that fight is a fight that people would want to see? I mean, Lemachenko is super fast, but he doesn't have the power that Tank has.
You know what? I don't think he has the power that Tank does, but he's just technically sound, and I just don't think it would happen because I think Mayweather would just hold him back from that. To be honest, I do think that fight would be unbelievable, but yeah, I just think that Mayweather would just feed into it too much and just wouldn't want it yet.
Oh, but why wouldn't Mayweather want it yet? I mean, Tank is he's an amazing boxer, and so is Lemachenko. So is it more he wants to try to get more bang for the buck?
I would say it's definitely a money thing, but I still think that that would be like a sellout fight for sure. I just feel like Mayweather holds Tank back from a few fights that I've seen in the past, so it's kind of hard to say what his opinion would be on it. I honestly, I hope that one day it does happen, but it's hard to say how Mayweather. I feel like he has too much control over Davis. That's my
Okay,
issue with that.
all right. So Davis is gonna fight who again?
Haney.
Haney.
Apparently, if Romero pulls out, which it sounds like he's gonna have no choice anyways, because I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to jail. So,
Okay, and Haney. What kind of fighter is Haney though?
he's fast. He's stood up with Leonera's. He did get dropped by Leonera's. I just feel like he runs his mouth a little too much too, kind of like Garcia and Romero, and I just kind of feel like they're hyping themselves up more than they actually are.
Okay, but if you ain't gotta hide, coach, you ain't gotta hide. All right. So you're talking about Ramirez, not Ramirez. Sorry,
Romero, sorry.
Romero, right?
Yeah.
So what about the other guy you were talking about again?
Haney?
Garcia. Sorry,
Yeah.
Garcia. So why wouldn't Garcia fight Tank?
I feel like Garcia has no balls. After the second fight now that Garcia's pulled out of, and I don't even think he'll ever come back from that. After Canelo's already talked about pulling the plug on his contract, so that's enough in itself. And it's one thing to pull out a fight one time, but two times in a row, back to back, and then you just run your mouth right away. I just feel like.
And
Yeah, no.
what was the reasons for him pulling out of these fights? Like was it injury or
No, he wasn't his mental health. That's what it was.
Okay.
His mental health wasn't there, so he pulled out.
All right. I mean,
Like, I
I,
don't.
I'm all about mental health, man. I want people to be mentally, because
and 100%. It's just like it's a fight. Unfortunately, this is the business, and you know, I'm always a firm believer in being mentally strong and mentally fit. But you know, for you to pull out of a fight because your mental health, which is totally understandable, and then sit there and run your mouth the next day, and then do it again,
unprofessional.
unprofessional, exactly, and then to do again one more time, you know, that kind of just, to me, it just seems like he's afraid and he just has no problem running his mouth.
Okay.
So you know, if you, like I said, if he pulled out of that fight because of mental health, and which I totally understand, and then you know, like he came back better and stronger, I totally understand that. Even just to take the fight, you know, 100%, I'd stand behind that. But you know, to run your mouth and pull out of a fight and then do that one more time, you know, that kind of, that just doesn't last long in this sport. Unfortunately, it's a grueling sport, and you have to be mentally strong for that.
Okay. Well, thank you for your thoughts on this, and hopefully we'll be able to get you back for some other ones. But yeah, man, thanks again.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.